Okay, we're going to have Kimya Jackson, who is the daughter of Edwina Jackson, who is a board member, speaking about family, and she will be introduced by her mom, Edwina. So come on up.
Good afternoon, or is it still morning? Okay. I'm here to introduce my daughter, Kimya Jackson, who's lived with me all her life. She's a graduate of Keene University, and she teaches second grade now at Redwood High School. Presently, she's working on her master's degree, which she hopefully is getting next month with honors. Okay. She's fortunate to have built her house with Habitat for Humanity in the city of Newark. And she's a very active person in community affairs. She's received a certificate from the city of Newark for her endeavors in literacy for children in the Central Ward. Presently, she works on some other things that involve the community. She's a mother of 2 children. My grandson is here with her today. He's graduating from high school, and she has a daughter who's graduating from grammar school also. So I'm proud to introduce my daughter, Kimya Jackson. I also want to thank my family and friends who felt that it wasn't robbery to come out to support this effort today. Also, my father, who I'm proud to have here.
No crying. I still have to get through this.
Okay. He's been kind of ill, and he, fought his way through today, and I want to let him know how glad I am. St. Elmo J. Sessions.
Good afternoon. Although I am an educator, I am used to speaking to children only, so this is going to be interesting. I'm going to follow Dr. Hirsch in giving you basically a timeline of living with Edwina Jackson. When I was asked to speak about living with a woman with polio, it was interesting because I don't see handicaps when I look at my mom. I don't see disability or anything. So it took a little soul searching for me. So I want everyone to imagine 1979. It's a cool, I guess, fall evening, I guess about November. I grew up in Newark, I live in Newark, so I was leaving, or no, I'm sorry, I was entering my grandmother's tenement building on 17th Avenue. If anyone knows Newark, you know where 17th Avenue projects were. And my mom was walking with me and she fell. This is the very first time I had ever seen her fall. And there were some people standing around that laughed at her and no one ventured to help her. So on that day, I remember screaming out, "Help my mom," and I began to cry. But on that day, I knew that I needed to be her protector. Of course, she doesn't need me to protect her. At that point, I think I was about 5 or 6, but I felt that I needed to be her protector. So from the age of 6, which was 30 years ago, I've always felt that I needed to be her right, left hand, her right leg, and anything else she needed. So I'll move you along to, I guess, the mid-'80s. In the mid-'80s, I realized a lot of my friends, they were wearing heels and things of that nature, and they were able to walk nicely in them. Still to this day, I suffer from not being able to wear heels. And as I sat and I thought about the reason I'm not, or the reason I probably struggle with it is because my mom never had heels. So I never had a chance to play and, you know, do the little prissy things because she always had a size 7 and a size 9. One had a lift, one didn't, and things of that nature. So I attribute my wearing of flat shoes to my mom. And it's not a bad thing because I find really stylish ones. And every now and again, I'll try with a speed bump pump as this one today. So that's another thing I remember as a child with my mom. And the other thing is, too, like I said, when I started, I've never seen her as a handicapped woman or someone with a disability. So whenever I learned to do something, I always wanted my mom to do it, too. So there was this dance called the WAP. Raise your hand if you know about that dance. All right, there's a dance called the WAP, okay? I attended St. Rocco's Elementary School, and everyone knew how to do this dance except for me. So I came home and I told my mom about it, and she had no problem doing the WAP. So much so that she would come to the school when we had dances, and she would not embarrass me, but she would show me up by doing the WAP with my friends. So, needless to say, I had to practice, and I learned how to do the WAP as well. During this same time period, I enjoyed roller skating a lot, so, of course, my mom had to try roller skating. This was a very interesting experience because if you don't know my mom, her right leg is the one that was affected or afflicted with polio, I guess. And so one of her legs is smaller than the other, like Dr. Hirsch showed. So my mom attempted to put on roller skates, and she, I guess, wanted to move forward, but her right leg was not working with her. So instead of her going forward, she kind of slid out this way. And as her protector, I felt the need to go and help her. And yeah, so that didn't work so well. We both fell. This is in the basement of our house. We both fell and had a great laugh. But thinking about my mom, she's not like the little engine who thinks they think they can. She always tries, and she does whatever it is she sets out to do. So once again, remembering that, or trying to remember she has, I guess, polio, but not feeling that it's a disability. The other thing that she tried to do, and this is speeding forward, and I'm going to go back a little bit. There was Tybo. Anybody ever tried Tybo? All right, so there was Tybo with Billy Blanks. And because I was going on vacation to Puerto Rico, I felt that I needed to have a beach body, and so I tried this Tybo. And I insisted that my mom tried with me. So we attempted in my bedroom, and I'm going to step to the side to show you this. So there's this move, right, where you have to do this or what have you. And so she attempted that, and she started to move to the left side and kind of fell with that too. And so we had another great laugh. But once again, my mom, because I think she forgets that she has a slight handicap, she tries everything. So it's been an interesting life. So I'm going to go back a little bit. So now we're in high school, okay? And I went to Science High School just like my son. And in biology class in my last year, I was asked to do a report on something that had something to do with biology, something that meant something to me. And I don't think my mom knows this, but I did a research paper on polio because I love my mom so much. And I found out, that's right, no crying. So I found out a lot of different information about, you know, how a lot of you have been afflicted with this interesting virus. And it was soul searching for me because at that time I really had to realize that my mom was different and that at times she may not be able to do what other parents could do. And it amended my thinking about how I treated my mom. And that's right, no crying. And the things that we were able to do together. It didn't change what we did and how we did it, but I had to be very mindful of different things, which leads me to my next thought of my feelings as a child with a mom with polio. I was very angry, and I don't think she knows this either, but I thought about this at 1 o'clock in the morning. I had always been very angry with the fact that my mom contracted this virus, and I'm not quite sure who or what I was angry with the most, but I was angry because she's such a great person, and this is not something she deserved. You know, she told me about stories where she would have to stay in the children's hospital, as Dr. Hirsch said, away from family and friends, and you know, she had to stay there for a long time, and she had to wear braces, and I'm a very visual person, so when she said braces, I can envision all of this metal and, you know, her trying to walk and trying to beat the odds and things. And so I was very angry with the fact that I didn't understand why it had to be my mom. However, getting beyond the anger, her having polio has made me a stronger person, you know, these days and, you know, throughout life, because my mother is struck with 3 adversities. The first being a woman, the second being African American, and the third being handicapped. So what I learned from her is that if she can do it, I have to do it. And I've based my entire life on saying whatever she's done, I have to be one step better because I have one less adversity. So whereas she bought a house at 30, I had to buy my house at 29. Whereas she went to a 2-year college, I had to go all the way through. So this is basically a second master's that I'm working at, and then I'm going on to working on a doctorate. So wherever she's been, I know that I have to be one step better, because if she was able to do it, I have to do it. I heard stories where she was told she wouldn't be able to drive a car, and my mom, I forget what age, you know, finally got out there and got her license. So what did I have to do? On my 17th birthday, I took my test. By Halloween of that year, I had my license. You know, so my mom has showed me that I have to be strong, that I have to beat all odds, that I can't let diversities or adversities get me down, and here I am today. I had more to talk about, but I have like all of these different notes here in front of me. My son wrote down the definition for disability for me this morning, and it says a disadvantage or deficiency, a physical or mental impairment that impedes normal achievement. As I look at the people standing here, not one of you has a disability, because nothing has stopped you. So yes, let's hear it for all of you. So I just wanted to commend all of you. I've been to some of my mom's meetings, and I see you guys, you know, when you've done the yoga, I see how passionate you are about having polio or living through, you know, a life with polio. And I must say, the best thing about polio, you may not know this. How many of you have a handicap placard? Raise your hand. Okay, so that is like the best thing about having polio, okay? So I remember, I remember getting my license, right? I remember getting my license, and I think that was the year my mom finally said, you know what, okay, fine. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna get a placard. And I said, yes. So she had one for her car, and I had one for my car, and the best thing about that is, you know, before I learned that, you know, we should walk far away to exercise, blah, 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 I said, wow. I have like front row seats to every entrance anywhere I would like to go. So thank you, polio, for that. So most recently, my mom and I were on the Dr. Oz show with another family member, and we were in the Rockefeller Center Plaza, what have you, and she fell. And for the first time in 36 years, I had to finally just step back and say, I cannot be her protector. She can do this, she can do this. And I think that day I cried the most internally, because I always feel that I need to help her. But just watching her get up and get right back on her feet and just keep going, it empowered me, and I said, you know what, I'm finally going to release that protector characteristic, because I know that she can do this. However, as I listened to Dr. Hirsch this morning, I wrote down a quote, and this is from my mom. Note to mom, listen to your body, as said by Dr. Hirsch. If you can't do it, don't do it. You cannot be Miss Save the World. I don't know if you, well, some of you don't know this woman, but I'm sure a lot of you are like her. You want to help and save everyone. Stop doing it. enjoy life and just relax. And when your body says, you know, it's time to take a seat, take that seat. It's okay. You know, you have family members, you have friends who love you and will take over where that's needed. So I just want to close out by saying, I don't know if this has been my 10 minutes or not, but I just want to close out by saying a few quotes from a song by Katy Perry. Now, I know she's a very racy individual, for those of you who know her, but she has a song called Firework. And every time I watch her video, I cry. My kids know this. I cry every last time. Raise your hand if you've seen it. Firework. Okay, so you know that there's a point in that video where there's a little girl with cancer and she goes and it's like she's saving a child. Then there's another part in the video where there's a girl who's like heavy set and she doesn't want to get into the pool because everyone is really slim and things. But at the end of the day, every last person here is a firework because you all have something that makes you special. You all have something that just makes you go, oh, 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 as she says. But I wrote down where she says, you just got to ignite the light and let it shine. Just own the night like the 4th of July. Because at the end of the day, my mom is my firework. She has always shined, and she always ignites everything within her, within me, and with everyone who is in her presence. You know, so I want to leave today by saying thank you, Mom, for being my firework. I want to thank my family for always being here with her as needed and her friends. And I want to thank all of you for knowing that, you know, you guys are really great people. And at the end of the day, the best thing about polio is that handicap placard. So, thank you. And, oh goodness, I still have more notes. But at the end of the day, are there any questions or comments or anything that you would like to, I guess, express at this point? Oh, thank you, thank you. All right, so enjoy the luncheon. Thank you for letting me go ahead of time. Unfortunately, I, like Dr. Hirsch, have other things that I have to do today, but my mom is one of the most important people to me, aside from my children and my grandfather. And I wanted to make sure that I was able to come here and express my love and understanding and my commitment to being with my mom and helping my mom. And just a few corrections. First of all, I'm an elementary teacher, so I work at Redwood Elementary School. And the other thing is, I no longer live with her. Thank you. We are synonymous, we are together, but I have my own house and she has her own house because we are both very dominant people and that just would not work. All right, so thank you. Have a great day.
Hey, Kimya. Thank you very much, Kimya.